Okay, so I've got one of these Methven washing machine taps, and out of quite a bit of hunting around and to think, so long story short, 3 weeks ago, ended up replacing the thing. It was leaking from the bottom end, or so basically underneath the main tap. It's housing, and it looked like it was leaking from this bit here. It was definitely not from the top, but because the leak was so slow, it was really hard to really isolate where it was unless you really had a lot of time to. But it got quite bad. So yeah, anyway, so 3 weeks ago, removed the whole thing off and had one of those multi-kit units, and so ended up taking that one there out. I mean, that one was pretty munted anyway. So pulled that out and found one that's sort of reasonably fit, and I thought, okay, that would do the job. And 3 weeks later, exactly the same issue, leaking again. So been to Bunnings, been to Mitre 10, no hell. Guy at Mitre 10 suggested that I go to Plumbing World, have a chat to one of them. So they told me, well, just clamp this down and try to put it in the vise, or screwdriver in here, try to lever it out. Then I realized, after much struggling around, this thing didn't come out that way. This thing didn't thread on. So even though this thing swivels and it's quite tight, and I've actually cleaned it out because I thought let me just make a quick video so I can show people, because this is not something that trust me, I couldn't find any information. So these taps go for roughly $300 a piece for a complete unit. So I just paid $30 now for a kit, and so pretty much I've got another kit with a whole lot of these washers, So hoping one of these O-ring rings are gonna fit. Should do, because pretty much here, as you can see, I need two of them, and of course you need to put a little bit of grease on it so that it doesn't get pinched when it's going back into the housing. So, long story short, the main point of this video is it's just the way this thing goes back. So if anyone tells you that it screws in, you need a vise and all that kind of thing, that's just rubbish. No, but and so the professionals, including the professionals that supposedly don't know. And I realized, because I remember years ago that I had come across a similar type of setup, and after much faffing around, had a similar kind of deal. You had to put a really thin flat in between the swivel part, and it would just lever, and then you just had to gently pry it off. So yeah, so if anybody wants to put it into a vice first or something, you don't. So yeah, you really don't want to damage these things. They are very fragile, as you can see. Because I first thought, oh, these guys, they know what they're doing, and so I ended up scoring a little bit of the brass on the inside bit of the tap, just because I thought that's what the guy said. Put a screwdriver in there and wedge, and rubbish. This thing just has to just gently be the swivel neck's got to be loosened very, very gently. So yeah, I actually wanted to keep this video as short as possible, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of background, and just so that it makes more sense. Okay, good luck.